Saturday, A.J. Guyton played heroics, propelled Indiana past then 10th ranked Temple, giving Coach Bob Knight another great memory in a Hall of Fame career that tonight reaches a milestone 1,000th game. Tonight the rivalry continues as the Hoosiers travel to Lexington to meet the up-tempo defending national champion Kentucky Wildcats. But there's more. At 9:30, it's a battle under the Midwest moon as the Iowa Hawkeyes invade Allen Fieldhouse to face the 8th-ranked Kansas Jayhawks, led by senior Ryan Robertson and sophomore Kenny Gregory. It's a night to remember, and it's all up next. They're getting ready in Freedom Hall as the Wildcats of Kentucky all set to play host to Indiana. Kentucky has won 6 of the last 7 in this series. Hi, everybody. Bill Pito in the studio. It is great to have you with us. We'll be here all night keeping you posted on what's going on elsewhere. Purdue's in action later on, and also Georgetown takes on Rutgers in the Big East. In progress already, North Carolina taking on Buffalo, and the Tar Heels have the early lead 23-15. North Carolina's won 52 straight at home against non-conference opponents. This is the first ever meeting between these two schools. Scott Padgett in Kentucky all set to take on Indiana. Brad Nessler and Dick Vitale have the call for you. Enjoy the game, everybody. We'll be here with updates throughout.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by the complete line of 1999 Lincoln automobiles. Lincoln, what a luxury car should be. And by the U.S. Army. Be a part of the toughest, smartest Army in the world. Be all you can be.
For 34 years, Bob Knight has been coaching college basketball. It started at Army and has included 3 national championships. Tonight marks his 1,000th game. And coming in, the general set to lead his troops to battle one more time. Freedom Hall, Louisville, Kentucky. It's a border war, sometimes split right down family lines. You won't see this much red, white, and blue unless you go to a major 4th of July party. 11th ranked Indiana against the Wildcats of Kentucky. Hi, everybody. Brad Nessler with Dick Vitale. Louisville is the spot. It's supposed to be a neutral court. I don't know. Split right down the middle. And tonight, I think Indiana is going to have to worry about what they're going to do up front, Dick. They're a little bit smaller than Kentucky.
They really got to get some play on the interior. They got to get guys like Hastings, Gladness to get up on the glass. They've been out-rebounded this year. And the bottom line is they got to get a good start. They have been the cardiac kids. They came back after being down big to Indiana State, Notre Dame, Kansas State, and Temple. They can't afford to spot Kentucky a big lead here tonight.
They may never make up the ground as we take a look at the starting lineups first for Bob Knight in Indiana. Here's how it looks. Gladness, Washington, Fife and Guyton in the backcourt. Luke Recker right now is their leading scorer at almost 17 points a game. For Tubby Knight, for Tubby Smith and the Wildcats of Kentucky, it looks like this. Turner and Prince in the backcourt, Padgett and Evans up front, and Michael Bradley for Tubby Smith coming off a career game, 19 points in their win over Miami the other night. And Tubby, what did he do in his first year at Kentucky? Just took him to the national championship. And in his second year, Orlando Tubby Smith, 42-5.
Bobby Knight really respects him. Talking to Bobby before the game, he said Tubby's teams are solid, they're fundamentally skilled, and they play well as a unit.
These two teams have had at it 41 previous times, and Kentucky has the 1-game edge by virtue of a 3-point win last year, but 7 of the last 8 have gone to Kentucky. The game's normally close, except for one we did 2 years ago was a blowout in Kentucky's favor.
I'll tell you, Brad, there's only been 2 teams that have beaten Indiana 5 consecutive times, Illinois and Kansas, and right now Kentucky has won 4 in a row. It doesn't happen too often that Mr. Knight gets some 5 in a row, as you see the blue and red all over this place.
Almost from midcourt, and there's the red side, a spattering of Kentucky fans in that end. I wouldn't want to be sitting in that end zone if I was there. The last time around, it was 75-72 in a seesaw battle back and forth. Both teams led in each half. And when it was all said and done, the final 75-72. The problem is 58 of those 75 points for Kentucky have gone on to the next level.
Especially Muhammad and Shepard. Muhammad and Shepard was so big in that game, 21 apiece. And there's a kid you don't hear a lot about, Cameron Mills.
Right.
And he provided them that special three-point shot, something they need. As you look at Mr. Knight, it all started December 4th, 1965 at Princeton, New Jersey, coaching Army at 24 years of age. And today he has an outside shot, Brad. You and I were doing our math, and there's a chance that he could ultimately catch Dean Smith's 879.
You figure if he goes 20 wins or maybe more for 7 more years after this one's over, that still puts him under 65 years of age and in that bracket and in that category.
He's a granddad now. He's got a grandson. His son Tim had a baby boy. His name is Braden, but he said, wait a minute, Dick. He said today, I call the kid Brady.
Brady.
I call him Brady.
I'm sure that'll stick if that's what Grandpa Bob says. Wayne Turner and some final instructions from Tubby Smith.
We talk about a solid point guard. Wayne Turner 3 times in a row to the final game of the NCAA championship. 2 championships and lost that overtime game to Arizona.
Ed Hightower, Ted Hillary, and Gerald Boudreau has got the ball in hand. We're just about set for the 42nd meeting between the Hoosiers and the Wildcats. And here we go. Easy tip, but it ends up being controlled by Kentucky.
Key player tonight, Scott Padgett, has to play like he was advertised as a preseason All-American in a lot of magazines. Really struggled for 0 for 18 from the three-point line until the last game when he hit 3 big ones in the second half.
Bradley almost lost the handle. Turner with 15 on the shot clock. Wayne Turner, when he drives, he's dangerous. Got it.
You call that right there, Brad. No doubt about it. He breaks you down with his offensive skills. He's a tremendous driver to the basket.
Some backcourt pressure from the Wildcats.
Indiana should handle that. They got experience right here in A.J. Guyton. Recker can handle the ball as well.
The freshman fight.
Mr. Basketball in Michigan.
Washington open. He'll take it and got it.
His high school coach is here. Came all the way from San Jose, California. He's in the house today to see his kid Washington play.
We got a high school Padgett played his high school ball here in Louisville.
St. Xavier.
Outside jumper's good, and that's something Tayshaun Prince can do. If he can spot up, get an open shot, he'll knock it down. He gives Kentucky again a 2-point lead.
That's what they're looking for. Somebody on a perimeter, become a consistent shooter. They struggled out of Puerto Rico because they didn't shoot the 3 well.
Bradley backs off Washington again. This time he misses, and Prince will clear it off to Turner.
See, Prince has got that long, lean body. He can be a rebounder as a guard as well.
Padgett looked to get it to Bradley. Turner again on the drive.
Guyton and Turner matched up. That's a good matchup.
Yeshiva Evans outside all alone. Got it.
That's one of your favorite players. He's become a star in that Kentucky uniform.
He was the star at the grade 8 that we saw last week. He had 11-point, 11 rebound games.
Also was a star in the NCAA tournament. Hit 2 big threes and that comeback against Utah for the national championship. Typical Indiana offense. Speed away from the ball. A lot of ball movement.
18 on the shot clock. Fife on the dribble. Here's Guyton. He's going to take it for 3. Rimmed out. Padgett tried to keep it alive. It comes to Fife, and now ball loose underneath. Evans will clear it out, and he turns it over.
He can shoot it.
Recker. Yeshiva Evans, another rebound off the back. And they throw it away again. Back-to-back Kentucky turnover.
Sloppy play in those possessions by Kentucky. This kid's got to drive a little more. He's shot the jump shot too much and doesn't go to the foul line. A.J. Guyton, he's got to use his quickness and get to the rack a little bit.
Indiana's starting team didn't make it to the free throw line once against Temple over the weekend. When's the last time you heard that? Now, that's part of that Temple's defense, I suppose.
That's a zone matchup they play, but you're right. They didn't win anything inside. They don't drive with the basketball.
Hook pass down on the baseline. Guyton comes around at 5 on the shot clock. He's going to have to hustle. Nice scoop pass underneath. They might not get a shot off. 3-pointer rims out. Just at the buzzer. He got a decent look. Kentucky by 4.
Padgett, a multi-dimensional player, can really pass the ball well.
Evans spins inside. Prince. Now Bradley. Got it underneath. Chance for a 3-point play.
There's that size, that 6'10" from out of Boston, Massachusetts. Tubby Smith likes the way he's developing on the inside. They do usually a great job in working with their big people. I mean, you saw the development of Nazi Muhammad, who came in really as a project. Bradley certainly wasn't a superstar out of the high school ranks. Very good player in New England. There he is with the catch. The strength, lays it on the glass. Learned a lot from his dad and his brother David, who plays at Charleston Southern.
Right, selling forward there. He says his dad worked so much with his brother that a lot of it just rubbed off while he was sitting in the gym. Chance for a three-point play, and he got it.
He's originally going to go to Boston College. There's Bobby Knight doing some coaching on that sideline. The one thing you brought up about Indiana and the free throw line, how many years they've always made more free throws than their opponents have attempted. That has not happened this year.
Well, you talked to Bob Knight, and he said we can't afford to get in a hole against Kentucky. They're in one already, though it's a minor one. 9-2 in the early going. Nice spin inside. Padgett blocked the shot, but he got him with a body.
Yeah, Bradley rotated over as well. Trying to get some posted inside by Gladness and some quickness. There he is down in the box inside. Now there's Padgett. Looked like mostly ball there, but they said the body. That's all that counts. The guy blowing the whistle. We got Dr. Hightower now. He's right. Administrative superintendent of schools. Got his doctorate.
St. Louis University, I think.
Yeah, St. Louis University.
So Gladness' first point of the ball game.
North Carolina coming back from that win, that loss rather, to Charleston, College of Charleston, beat Massachusetts as well. John Kress. Danny Johnson was the man of the hour. 1 second left, he scores against Carolina.
Appalachian State gave Georgia Tech all kinds of trouble, now leading Georgia at halftime. Underneath, stickbacks missed, and Padgett comes down with it.
You got to score inside there, Brad, when you get those opportunities.
Turner by Guyton, bumps en route.
He's so strong with the basketball. Turner really has great penetration ability. Certainly one of the real blue chip point guards in America.
Tayshaun Prince goes out. Saul Smith comes in. The first substitution of the ball game, and Saul will inbound on the baseline.
Kentucky's so deep, they can rotate 6, 7 guys off that bench and get quality minutes out of them. That's what makes them such a strong basketball team.
Padgett guarded by Gladness. Here's Turner in the lane. Ugly looking shot, but it almost went in.
Yeah, it didn't look pretty at all.
Lewis runs it down, almost walked with it. Baseline, Guyton flies in.
H.I. Guyton hanging around the basket. He's had a solid career out of Peoria Central High School. They also had a player of Indiana that used to wear that uniform from out of there. Chris Reynolds, a defensive stopper.
Brantley on top, guarded by Washington. Smith tried to pack it into Padgett. Brantley, good look to Evans. He drew a foul.
Yeah, making the extra pass from the high post, reversing the basketball.
Foul is on Record, his first, team third.
Record picks up the foul.
Here's Michael Lewis now. Going to see him down on the deck, but he has good vision. Now here he's laying on the floor, and he finds the open man, and Guyton's going to convert.
That isn't a pretty assist, but he'll take it.
You know, Guyton went. He didn't score a point against Syracuse in the loss of the championship. It's hard to believe he can go lots of minutes and not score a point.
Akimu Evans, 3 already for him. He's actually the leading scorer of this Kentucky team, almost 13 a game.
You know, a lot of people didn't believe he could play at Kentucky when he transferred from out of Manhattan after playing for Franz Fischella. But Rick Pitino liked a lot about his game, especially for the multiple defenses that Rick installed. And he fit it perfectly coming off the bench.
Second one comes off the iron. Rebounded off to Gladness. Now Lewis will bring it against Smith. 10-5 Kentucky.
Trying to get those screens away from the basketball. So important to their offensive set.
Turner on the baseline. Underneath. Picked up. That's the second time Washington's missed him close.
Turner had a big game against Kentucky last year, 25.
Saul Smith, 3 off the mark. Turner with a rebound. And the outlet to Guyton.
Starting to get more minutes now, Turner. Came out of junior college, had a big game last year against Kentucky, but they didn't win. He can shoot the ball from the perimeter.
Indiana Indiana only 2 for 8 from the floor so far. And they missed a couple in close that they should have had.
Really set those down screens. He's going to drive, attack the basket.
Inside and a bump from behind on Turner as he's trying to stay with Gladness and giving away a considerable amount of size. Wayne Turner picks up the foul. We got a timeout with 14-18 remaining in the first half. Kentucky out to a 5-point lead. 10-5 Kentucky with 14-18 to go in the first half. Dick, you were talking about A.J. Guyton having to go to the hole a little bit more.
Well, I'll tell you, Brad, he's shooting less than 2 free throws a game. We watch here in their offensive set. Freeze it. See, right here's the down screen. Now gets him the basketball up in this area here. Now once he gets the basketball, freeze it right here. See, he's going to attack this area or attack this area. He has got to penetrate and drive and get people in foul trouble and go to the basket a little bit. He's either shooting the jump shot or just dumping the ball in. He's not playing aggressive attacking basketball with the ball in his hand.
And if he knew that he was in a double freeze it situation from you, he'd go to the basket a little more. You see, he's just not getting to the free throw line either.
And he shoots. He's 13 for 15 on the line, so he's almost like automatic. I know Bob Knight talked to him about that. He told me that today. AJ says, Coach wants me to drive a little more.
Hastings checked into the lineup. Turner stays in there along with Gladness, Lewis, and here's Guyton.
Hastings been one of the real surprises this year at Indiana. He's given them a lot of positive minutes.
Really setting the screens out there, trying to free up Turner or Guyton.
Hastings got a nice little stroke as well. A red shirt last year.
Lewis got a step on Turner. Padgett swatted that one away with no foul.
Nice defensive effort by Padgett, rotating over in there man-to-man.
And a walk on McGlure.
McGlure certainly gives him presence inside, blocking shots. They're trying to get him involved offensively.
Scott Padgett had that shot blocked earlier, and then they called the foul on him. That last one was clean, but Kentucky, after hitting its first 3 shots now, has only hit 1 of their last 5.
Turner matched up on Padgett. Matched up on Guyton on the outside. Watch the action away, people. Watch away from the basketball. You see all the screening that creates opportunity.
Nice feed by Turner to Guyton, but he didn't do anything with that one either. And now they're down to 4. Lewis is going to have to hoist one. Tried to cross-court pass. Saul Smith stole it.
Not good offensive execution by Indiana. Not the kind of offense they like to run. The rhythm and the tempo is not there that they like to establish.
Turner, Evans, Padgett, Saul Smith, and Jamal McGlure on the floor for Kentucky. And the coaching staff thought McGlure, maybe this would be his coming-out party tonight. They expect more for him. He had a slow start because he missed the first couple of games. Turner had it blocked. Turner blocked the shot by Wayne Turner. And now Saul Smith lofts a 3-pointer. And Rob Turner another rebound.
That 3-point shot really changes the complexion of the game if you can knock those things down, baby.
Not a bad defensive sequence there for Rob Turner. A block shot and a rebound.
He's a good athlete.
Guyton trying to break down Smith. Baseline, another block shot by Padgett. Comes free to Guyton, and he's fouled. Now, when we're done here, it's off to Jayhawk country. Kansas will play host to the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa led by their 6th-year senior Jess Settles. Kansas going after its 2nd straight win after the loss to the same Kentucky club last week at the grade 8, the game we saw. Padgett a couple of block shots already tonight, and their defense, that's what they did to Kansas. Roy Williams era low.
Well, right now, field goal percentage defensively is 37%. They beat Miami the other day, and Leonard Hamilton does a great job defensively. They led the nation last year, Miami, 37.1%. And in Kentucky's situation right now, they're allowing 38% in the year. Look at Kentucky's been on the sideline. They allowed 38% rather last year, winning the national title.
Scott Padgett gets a breather, and Jules Kamara checks in to take his spot. At the free throw line, A.J. Guyton.
Guyton hit that big 3 to beat Temple at the buzzer. Well, 5 seconds left in the game. He had missed his first 8, and he hits 1 to tie and 1 to win.
Did it when it counted. And the shot clock has been having some problems already in this first half, and it inadvertently goes off there. So they're going to reset that. And the game clock as well is messed up right now.
Clock malfunction, thus the delay in the game.
We understand they had trouble with the clock last night. Towson State was in here to play Denny Crum's Louisville Cardinals, and they had a few problems with that. So they'll get the electrician out here sometime in the next couple days when they
Louisville
have a little break.
Louisville got a blowout last night. They blew out Towson State. Got Nate Johnson back in their lineup. They can't play this year in the NCAA tournament on probation. Not permitted to play during the tournament.
Of course, Denny Crum in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame went in a few years ago, and Bob Knight also a member of that illustrious group.
There's Bobby Knight coming over now, the Hall of Famer, coaching 4 decades now, the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Amazing. And I'll tell you one thing about the guy. You think about Indiana, I ask you one question. Have they ever had any NCAA investigations, number one? Number two, think about this. Their players graduate. Those two guys have great respect for each other. Look at Tubby smiling. The question is, who will be smiling at the end of the game?
That's right.
Bobby says it is tough coaching today, Dick. He says it's not about just getting in the gym and teaching. It's all the other things you have to worry about. Look at this here, 1,000 games coach.
And he's won 728 of them coming into this.
Hey, congratulations to Lefty. He's now in his
over 700 at Georgia State now. Yep.
Yeah, there's only 11, 12 guys now that have been in the 700 category. Boy, that's
Tell you what, he's putting some people in the arena down there too now. That was a dormant program, and the left-hander has put some excitement back into Panther basketball at Georgia State.
Well, he'll create some excitement. Remember, he's at Maryland. He said we're going to be the UCLA in the East.
Kamara.
Nice feed to Smith. Oh, you got to convert that. Take it up strong, Saul.
And Kamara got fouled.
Kamara's very active, very quick. You see how they're physically stronger. They're freshmen. They got a good-looking group of young players. When you talk Kamara and you talk Prince, Allison.
Kamara with a good look. Saul Smith didn't convert, and his dad let him know about it as he heads to the huddle. Still, Kentucky holding the lead, 10-6. .11:55 to go in the half. Just moments ago, that said Towson and the Cardinals. So they're working on it up there on the scoreboard. Not a lot of offense tonight, but good defense so far, Dick.
Yeah, you know, Paz has played really well defensively, blocking some shots, giving him some presence on the inside. Here he is now with a rejection. Bradley wants the jump ball. Now he here is working on a glass, rebounding, showing his multi-skills. And now he's going to take Lewis as he drives, gets the good angle for the block shot. He's a multi-dimensional player. His shot disappeared. He had missed 18 in a row from the trifecta, and we know he's a good shooter. And then Leonard Hamilton had to pay for it by knocking down 3 in the second half. And I'll tell you, they got a great player down in Miami. A kid by the name of Tim James.
James, yeah.
James is outstanding.
Padgett getting the breather. Dick said he hit 3 3-pointers in the last 10 minutes against Miami.
He needed more tickets tonight. He's from Louisville. He only got 8, he said. He only got 8 tickets. Can't get a ticket for this baby.
That's right. Kamara, Prince, Hogan, McGlure, and Turner on the floor for Kentucky.
Want to get an isolation clear out, get some penetration out of Turner.
Hogan was wide open on the wing and missed it.
They hope that he can be that 3-point specialist. The guy to knock down the 3, a la Cameron Mill.
Turner from 15 off the front, the rebound off the record.
Luke Recker's been quiet, hasn't been active at all.
Barely touched the ball.
Yeah, he's got to get involved.
10-6, it remains. We have gone a long time without any kind of scoring, with the exception of Guyton's free throw.
They got Turner now playing Recker. Recker's going to post him inside, take advantage of the size. Nice screen there. They got a switch.
Turner played off it well. Guyton trying to take him to the baseline. 9 on the shot clock. Off-balance shot almost went in. Kamara clears off the Fife miss.
Fife comes from a great basketball family. Dad, brother.
Brother Dugan, also a Michigan player. A great quarterback in high school.
Yeah, they say big-time quarterback. A lot of people thought he could play at that big-time level. I know Duke wanted him badly down there. He said no to Duke in North Carolina to come to Indiana.
Guyton asking for more movement from his teammates.
Trying to show a lot of patience on offense.
Recker, nice crossover. Leads it off on the baseline. Flying one-hander. by Hastings good as he got by Kamara.
I'll tell you, he looked good there, the big guy. A little slide and glide move on that baseline. Hastings had 18 and 16 against Indiana State. They were 19 down at the half at home.
Now the Hoosier fans come to their feet as the team has cut it to a deuce. Prince misses a three. Guyton the rebound. Chance for Indiana to tie or lead.
He has record, just record.
Now he kicks it out to him. It's a little too late. Rucker, nice spin. Kamara stucks it.
That's what Kamara does well. They really block shots inside. Psychologically, they become very intimidating with McGlure, Kamara, Padgett, Bradley. They got a lot of size inside, force you to go to the perimeter. Now here's Record. Now look at the rotation over. There's Kamara. Great timing. He's going to be a tremendous shot blocker at the top.
This is his 9th block shot of the year. Boy, they've been working that one side of the baseline, and Padgett and Kamara, and as you said, McGlure just won't let them have it over there.
Well, you know it's really missing. You and I, you talked about it off the air. You don't see the great stars a la Anderson and guys like Merson, Walker, Shepard. Clock's not moving. Clock's not moving. He started again, having a problem. He's got to make it. Got it. He's got to make that, baby. That gives him a lot of confidence. And the Big Blue, they love it. They need his trifecta.
Back up to a 5-point advantage. Padgett in the middle of that again, and now he's out on the break. Turner over to Evans, and a nice job defensively by Dane Fife to knock it away. Don't forget, tune in tomorrow. We've got a terrific doubleheader on ESPN. We'll start things off. Number 3 Duke at 7:30. He'll take on Billy Donovan's youngsters from Florida. I'll be there for that one. Then Dick's going to be at the Mass Mutual U game. UConn against UMass, 9:30. That's our doubleheader. So you and I aren't going together tomorrow.
I know. I'm going over to Massachusetts. I spoke to Bruiser Flint today, a coach, and he said we're going to really be pumped up and ready to play.
You know the Cameron Crazies will be ready down in Durham.
That's a special place. I was there the other day, and they got a special team. But Florida's got some really good freshmen. Teddy Dupay, Michael Miller. You're going to love him. The Halton, you're going to love him as well.
They get a lot of points out of those guys, too. Look what the Florida freshmen do. That'll give you an indication of what we'll see tomorrow night.
They've had one real test. They went to Florida State and came out with an A+ as they blew out Florida State, won by 16 the night before the football game.
That's right. Around a pick. Ashiru Evans got nice elevation for the jumper and missed it. And Padgett hustles to keep it alive. Bradley underneath.
Hillary says the push.
It's on Luke Recker. It's his second. Boy, Padgett kept that alive somehow right in front of the cheerleaders down there on the baseline.
I thought it was a little walking violation here. I thought he picked up his pivot foot. Bobby Knight feels the same way. I look at the general talking to the doctor, Dr. Hightower. We're going to watch right here. Ball's kicked back in bounds.
Yeah, Padgett came right into our camera. Just missed the turnaround in the paint. And it's Lewis coming out of there with it. Trying to slow down and let Bradley run him over.
Lewis, big-time scorer in high school, really put up big points for a high school player.
Here's Jimenez now playing the point.
They're very deep in the backcourt. They got some quality guards. They just got to get some balance inside, outside.
Jimenez is a good outside shooter, too.
He made a big three against Temple.
Whoops, off the foot. Kick ball off Luke Recker.
Just not executing, Brad. Not really executing, getting good ball movement and player movement. And that's why he's frustrated right there on the sideline. The guy teaches and teaches and teaches. Today at practice. I mean, here it is, his 1,000th game. He's had all kinds of success, and he's working on screening. And I mean, he was active.
Always is. Evans, nice job down low to Padgett on the reverse.
Good inside play. Padgett working on the interior. He looks like a better player today than when you and I had the game against Kansas.
Exactly right.
And they played really well defensively against Kansas down night as a team.
So it's back to matching their biggest lead of 7. Nice hustle by Tayshaun Prince. Wayne Turner on the break.
There's the jam. Here they go again. A TO, baby, by Bobby Knight. They can't spot this club. They were down 19 and came back at Indiana State. They were down 18 at Kansas State. They were down 11 late in the game to Notre Dame. They were down late 9 to Temple. Came back and won all those games. But he said today, he said, we can't spot this club.
They did. They spotted them 9 with 7:46 remaining in the first half, thanks to the turnovers and Wayne Turner on the break. It's Kentucky 17, Indiana 8. Kentucky in front. If all you want for Christmas is ESPN, you got it. It is the border war here. In fact, this region to some people is called Kentuckiana, as we're about 79 miles from Lexington to Louisville and about 93 more to Bloomington, Indiana. The respective homes and on-campus sites of these two schools. They get together here at Freedom Hall. And again, right about at midcourt, you see where things are cut down the middle, the blue and the red. So far, neither team shooting that well, but Kentucky has 7 points off the turnovers. Scott Padgett playing where he played his high school ball in his hometown. 5 points, 4 rebounds, a couple block shots.
Indiana really struggling offensively, getting the kind of execution that Bob Knight is accustomed to seeing. He's had great teams. He's always had some good screeners. 1 year Steve Miles. Then he's had Ryan Sloan screen number 45. Former producer of basketball now in the NFL. Freddie Godelli, he was the one that labeled them that. Producing the basketball.
Down low and easy one, and finally in Washington, the second field goal.
I got to get William Gladness involved as well. He can provide some points on the inside. He came up big against Syracuse, had 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 steals. Almost had a triple-double in that loss for the Orangemen.
Inside Bradley. Hook shot, a little too strong. Indiana tried to keep it alive on the baseline, and it's knocked out of bounds. Let's take a look at ESPN.com news and notes. Who's Mike Miller? Want to find out? Log on to ESPN.com, read about this outstanding freshman who's leading his undefeated team in scoring, and you'll see him tomorrow night. All the stories of college hoops, and all you have to do is log on to ESPN.com. Brad Nessler and Dick Vitale with you here in Freedom Hall. Block shot underneath by Washington.
Got to go up stronger with that ball once he gets into the lane. You mentioned Michael Miller. He'll get introduced to big-time college basketball tomorrow down at Cameron.
17-10, a little over 6.5 to go in the half. And Prince, the freshman, loses the handle. Ashinu Evans tracks it down, 5 on the shot clock, and now they lose it right back. Flying 15-footer by Luke Recker, his first basket.
He's got legs. He had 27 against Notre Dame. He's got great bounce to his game. Was a McDonald's High School All-American out of DeKalb High School in Indiana. Mr. Basketball.
Their leading scorer at almost 17 a game gets his first basket. Just over 6 minutes to go in the half. Evans backing in Jimenez. Whistle and a foul over the back on Tayshaun Prince. Indiana wanted to run a little bit tonight. They weren't afraid of getting in a transition game. If they do more of this, they'll get right back in it.
Well, he's a very athletic player. He can shoot the basketball, averaged 12 a game last year. Really a solid player.
He's had 4 games over 20 already this season. Set highlighted by that Notre Dame game. So it's down to 5 again. Again, the ball stripped out of there. And out of bounds to Indiana.
For the Hoosiers, checking back in the lineup is number 23, Bob Turner.
W. Smith's Wildcats, their only loss was their 17-game winning streak being snapped by Pittsburgh at the Puerto Rico tournament. And for Indiana, they lost only once as well. That was in the Maui Invitational by Syracuse. Rather handily. Other than that, Dick said a lot of close games and come from behind games, but they're 8-1 coming in. Turner turns and buries it.
That's the bottom line. Turner had that big game I talked about earlier, 25. The referee went down. Paul Smith ran into him.
Now to a 3-point game. It was up to 9. And have 6 straight points for Indiana. Padgett on the drive. Had the ball stolen away. Still loose. And a whistle and a foul on Washington.
Foul on Washington was a good defensive effort by Gladness in the matchup against Scott Padgett.
Rob Turner off the bench on the other end.
See the ball fake? They really work on that. In fact, that ball fake got A.J. Guyton free to hit that 3 to beat Temple. Bobby Knight was talking about the ball fake today. Kid's got to learn to use that ball fake, shoulder fake. There was a fake right there by Paget.
Around a Bradley pick back to Paget for 3. Prince pulls it off and keeps it alive.
That's when you got that long lead, 6'7" as a guard.
Prince has got a 7-foot wingspan out there.
Nice
Paget down low. Good entry pass by Saul Smith.
Yeah, good execution, good 45-degree angle, brought the ball on a reverse pattern.
Paget was looking for a foul, didn't get it.
They're so excited at Kentucky, thinking about next year also with all those great players coming in. Look at the entry right there. There's a 45-degree angle. See, look at the target. Got to step to the basketball and take it up strong. Can't wait for the ball to come to you.
Pretty good call. That was all ball, I guess. Paget looked for the foul, didn't get it. Kamara just checked.
Hello! He's got great legs, baby. They're going to love him in Kentucky. Jules Kamara. Remember the name, Jules Kamara. Nice diving down the lane. Little give, go, cut without the basketball.
Good look. To Guyton. Guyton kicks it back out to Turner. Had it blocked by Prince. Ball still 3, and Jimenez will track it down in the backcourt. And now it's 4-on-4. Turner in the lane. Guyton's alone for a 3.
I tell you, Prince really playing after them along that baseline with those long, long arms at 6'7". Comes from a high school where they got a 7-footer he told me about today at the sophomore. Everybody in America, coaches, are drooling. Tyson Chandler, 7 foot in this high school.
Knocked out of bounds with 3:37 remaining. And a 19-14 Wildcat lead. Indiana cut it down to 3, and then the Jewel of Senegal stuffed it home. It's 19-14.
I like that. The Jewel of Senegal.
19-14, Kentucky in front by 5. Indiana has never led in this game. Bob Knight on his 1,000th game coaching tells us about his approach to the game of basketball.
My wife was reading an interesting thing last summer. She said, I'm reading an article written by a psychologist on today's education and how all this positive reinforcement has been a failure. I've never been able to quite get a hold of that approach. And so she kind of moves her glasses down, looks at me over her glasses and said, you know, you've hung on long enough that you're back in style.
Oh, great line. There's Karen, Bob's wife.
She's a great, great coach herself. She was in the Hall of Fame. In fact, she's in Oklahoma as a high school basketball coach. She talked some X's and O's with him.
That's a great line. You're back in style. You stick around long enough, it's like trends in clothes. They come back.
Now, one of his great wins was over Kentucky, his first team to go to the Final Four back in 1973. Beat Kentucky 72-65 in the Mid-East Regional.
It's the 6th Kentucky turnover. Gives it back to the Hoosiers in a low-scoring game with a chance to cut into that 5-point lead.
5 times to the Final Four, 3 national championships, 11 Big Ten titles, 728 wins.
National titles in 76, 81, and 87. You'd love to get one in the 90s.
Went undefeated 76.
Block shot by Kamara. Brings it out to Evans. Ian Turner run.
Kamara gives you that superb quickness, that athletic ability, explosiveness.
His second block shot for Jules.
Kentucky trying to run that motion game.
They pack it down to the big guy. Hits the side of the backboard, but McGlure, the other big man, keeps it alive. Prince for 3. Shooting has not been good on either side.
Well, shooting hasn't been good, really, nationwide.
Right.
They really, guys all want to take the ball to the goal. They all want to drive, slash, and they don't work any hard at shooting the basketball.
A.J. Guyton, only 3 points coming in.
Got 21 touches tonight, 3 drives he's tried.
Only 3 drives, as Dick said. He's got to get a little more active in the lane with a basketball in hand.
He said it's all mental. He told me today, he said, I really, at times, I know I have confidence because the kid has been an outstanding player in his career. I think it really affects. I heard Quinn Buckner, our guy, talk about in terms of his sensitivity. He gets very sensitive. This is a couple shots, he slows down on himself.
Inside trying to feed it to Gladness, and that one's stolen away.
You had the shot right there in the lane. Oh, nice catch.
Evans down low, too low maybe. Got it a second time and missed it again. finally draws a foul down on the baseline. You know, every hoops junkie needs ESPN's college basketball full court pay-per-view. It's the best way to see over 450 of the best college hoops games in the country. Call DirecTV at 1-800-GET-SPORTS or Primestar at 1-800-PRIMESTAR. It remains 19-14 with 2:03 left in the half, and Rasheem Evans goes to the free throw line where he's 1 of 2 tonight.
Well, you mentioned 1976, they go undefeated. 75 and 76, they go undefeated back-to-back in the Big Ten. That's 36 in a row. Wow. I don't think we'll ever see that again. In fact, Bobby feels that's one of the great achievements, and that was led by our guy Quinn Buckler and Scott May and company. And in 75, they might have won another national title if May doesn't get hurt. In fact, they blow out Kentucky earlier in the year in Bloomington and then lose to them by a deuce without May in the NCAA tournament. That's the year John Wooden, the Wizard of Westwood, won his last national title.
I heard the coach put the kibosh on those black UCLA uniforms. Huh?
Oh, absolutely. They are ugly, baby. They are ugly.
Right after you said that, I saw that he had finally said something to Coach Lavin. I don't know if they did away with him completely, but his word goes a long way out there.
They're zoning. Zoning right now with Prince on top. He really bothers the look of your three-point shooters. Those long lead arms.
2-1 on the shot clock. They just got it away. Had to hurry a shot. And now McGlure clears off the rebound with some authority.
Just had a player transfer, leave school. Myron Anthony, one of the Souths. Play-in time, the reason not that he liked the W program. Guys all want PT. You get PT, they all love it there.
6'7", sophomore out of Jacksonville is gone. Backdoor cut by Turner was almost there. Just over, now under a minute to go in the half. Evans, rebound by Gladness.
He's got to get the shot within the offense. That's a forced shot right there by Shamu.
Outside jumper, the 3, rims out for Fife. The hook underneath goes, though, for Hastings.
I'll tell you, Hastings, when he fills out and gets stronger, he's got good running ability. He gets up and down the court. He has excellent touch, and he's big. You can't teach size with the skill of shooting the ball. He could become a special player at Indiana, especially with the great teaching they do working with their big people.
42nd meeting between Indiana and Kentucky. You could go back to the first one, I think, and it'll probably be about this high scoring, or low scoring, I should say. 21-16, and Indiana can cut into it further. Well, the chance for a final shot.
Wayne Turner up there shooting the 3. That's an area he's really worked on, but certainly not his forte.
Guyton wanted everybody to clear out, and now they're going to have to hurry. Turner, no good on the outside jumper. Big collision with McGlure, Turner, and Gladness in the lane. Let's see if McGlure's okay. Apparently he is.
Teams didn't shoot the ball really well here tonight, Brad. We got to attribute that, though, to some solid defense. Indiana only 29%, Kentucky 27%, but some solid team defense as both these teams are prepared on a defensive end.
Courtyard by Marriott halftime report is coming up. Bill Pino and company standing by. It's 21-16 here in Freedom Hall. Let's go to Bill.
All right, Brad, thank you very much. As Brad mentioned, much to come on the halftime report, including a look at Miami of Ohio trying to snap its 2-game losing streak. Wally Szczerbiak averages 22.5 a game. We'll find out how he fares tonight against Marshall when we come back after this.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Saturn. A different kind of company, a different kind of car. This halftime report is presented by Courtyard by Marriott, the hotel designed by business travelers.
Hi, everybody. Bill Pino. Great to have you with us on the Courtyard by Marriott halftime report. At the half, Kentucky leading Indiana by the score of 21-16. Elsewhere, Miami of Ohio has lost 2 in a row to drop out of the top 25, but they do, of course, have Wally Szczerbiak, who averages 22.5 points a game. Marshall against Miami of Ohio and Szczerbiak, and he is able to nail the jumper there. Miami's up 1. Marshall now trailing by 5, and Derek Wright works inside and banks it in off the glass. Marshall down 3. Saturday, of course, they beat UMass. Marshall up 1 here. Rob Messes turns on the burners, hits the shot, and draws a foul. Miami of Ohio is up by 3 at the half, 33-30. And right now, it is a 2-point game with 13:30 to go in the contest. Miami has won 51 of its last 56 games at home. Elsewhere, North Carolina, after losing to Charleston on Saturday, back home all over Buffalo, 53-24. The Tar Heels have won 52 straight at home against non-conference opponents. It looks like that'll go to 53 in a row. Liberty and Virginia. Virginia up 45-29. Final minute and change of the first half. Virginia coming in 5-3. In the Big East tonight, Georgetown against Rutgers. The Big East opener for both. So far this year, the Hoyas 6-2, while Rutgers is 5-1. Let's take a look at the highlights so far from this one. Kevin Braswell to Jamel Watkins. And Georgetown trails by 1. Still in the first half. Rutgers' Jeff Billett to Rashad Kent underneath. His 16th consecutive field goal made. Rutgers up 7-4. First half, Rutgers up 8. Jeff Greer takes the length of the court. Finds Kent. He puts it down. Rutgers up by 5 at the half. And right now, it is 44-36. Rutgers, which has 7 new players off of last year's roster, leads Georgetown 44-36. Elsewhere in the Big East, Boston College and Miami. Vernon Jennings, the feed here. Tim James for the easy basket. Miami up 6. James made his first 5 field goal attempts. Miami now up 5. Michael Cotton goes baseline. The acrobatic shot off the glass is good. Canes were up 3 at 25-22. And right now it is a 1-point game. The Hurricanes up 36-35 at the half. BC leads the all-time series 9-5. Boston College coming in 2-4 on the year, and right now they're down 1 at the half. Providence and Notre Dame, as we move along in the half. At the half, Notre Dame leads Providence 39-31. Providence leads this all-time series. They've won 7 of 10 against the Fighting Irish. Georgia and Appalachian State, 53-52. Georgia is up 1. Georgia has beaten Appalachian State in both previous meetings. We're back with more on the Courtyard by Marriott halftime report after this. Welcome back, everybody. Bill Pito in the studio. Our Courtyard by Marriott halftime report is Kentucky, after a half, leads Indiana by the score of 21-16. Elsewhere, Illinois State and Purdue. Illinois State coached by Kevin Stallings. He was a one-time assistant at Purdue under Gene Cady. Purdue coming in trying to make it 13 wins in a row at home. And let's take a look at this one. Purdue's Brian Cardinal throws it right to Tariq Bryson, who hits Tyrone Brown for the jam. Illinois State up early. Back comes Purdue, though. Mike Robinson here of the Boilermakers will get it in transition and pound it down. And Purdue coming in 7-1. Right now, early, they lead Illinois State 17-9, 11:29 to go in the first half. Elsewhere, Drake and Iowa State. Iowa State is home, and they lead it by the score of 13-6. Iowa State coming in at 5-2. Iowa State leads the all-time series. They've won 12 out of 14 in this matchup. Wichita State and K-State. K-State 6-2 on the year coming in. They're up 16-7 in Kansas State's last win. They out-rebounded Loyola by the count of 49-26, and right now they're up 9 in the first half. Meanwhile, the Kansas basketball program will be without Lester Earl for at least the next 2 games. Earl had his left knee scoped on Monday. That's the same knee he had major surgery on last year, and he'll be out for at least the next 2 games. That means he will not be in action tonight. The second game of our doubleheader here on ESPN is Kansas. They've won 62 straight at Allen Fieldhouse, and they're home to take on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Coming your way tonight on ESPN at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Just a reminder, huge game, ESPN Sunday Night Football, the Dolphins and the Jets. First place on the line in the AFC East. And then on Monday Night Football on ABC, it'll be the Lions of Detroit against the San Francisco 49ers. Right now, the Niners 1 game behind Atlanta for first place in the NFC West. College hoops on ESPN tomorrow night. We got a doubleheader for you. We'll start it off with Florida against Duke at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then #1 UConn against Massachusetts. That comes your way tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Speaking of UConn, the women. UConn women #1 in the country. Svetlana Abrasimova with a great hustle. Tamika Williams here for the lay-in. Huskies up by 6, and then Sue Bird is able to convert the layup. Huskies up by 14 at the half, and right now it is all UConn by 20 in the second half. UConn has taken all 8 meetings in its history against Notre Dame. Texas Tech and TCU. TCU leads at 29-22 about halfway through the first half. Texas Tech TCU has hit 21 of 39 from three-point land in its last 2 games. North Carolina lost Saturday against Charleston. They're back home, 52 in a row. They've won at home against non-conference opponents. And right now, look at what they're doing at Buffalo, 67-26, 9:26 to go in the ball game. Purdue leads Illinois State. That score 17-11, 10:35 to go in that one in the first half. After one half, Kentucky leads Indiana 21-16. Both teams shooting under 30% from the floor, but Wayne Turner able to convert the dunk there.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Chrysler, engineered to be great cars.
Halftime, Freedom Hall. No, this is not the score from midway through the first half. 21-16, fifth-ranked Kentucky leading. Brad Nessler and Dick Vitale back with you. Previous low this year for Indiana, 26 points at halftime of the Indiana State game. For Kentucky, 25 points halftime against Pittsburgh. They lost that game. This has been sort of ugly.
It has really been ugly. You're being very kind. It has been ugly. Can you imagine this? This is what a shot clock, a 35-second clock, 21-16. It's been all defense. Both clubs have excelled on the defensive end, but the offensive execution is really poor. There's the defensive play by Padgett. Now another play by Padgett. Rotates over, takes the driving angle away from Lewis. There goes Record to the goal, and Kamara says, get it out of here. That's the one area they excelled, Kentucky.
Well, they had only 2 less field goals, 2 more field goals than they had blocked shots in the first half.
Unbelievable. They got guys that can really ball. Look at how ugly the three-point line. I'm going to run out there. Give me a ball. Give me a uniform. 0 for 7, 1 for 6. That's 1 for 13 from the trifecta.
Dick talked earlier, though, about Indiana's been playing come from behind in every game, it seems. Down 19 at that halftime I talked about to beat Indiana State. Trail Kansas State by 18 in the second half. Down 11 to Notre Dame. 9 to Temple. So they've been the comeback kids, and they don't have that far to come back. They're only trailing by 5.
Yeah, it's cardiac time. I'll tell you this, Brad. I've seen 3 really good clubs this year: Connecticut, Maryland, and absolutely Duke. But the bottom line is, the best I've seen thus far, I'd have to give the little edge to Maryland in terms of depth, quickness, and a great JUCO and Steve Francis. And we're going to see them Saturday night when they go to Rupp Arena, one of the great environments for college basketball against Kentucky.
Last year, the score in this game was 46 to 39 at halftime. That just tells you what a difference a year can make. Underneath, Padgett, a foul, and a nice spin move by Gladness.
Well, the one good thing and a positive if you're an Indiana fan, as poorly as they executed and as poorly as they shot the basketball, they're within striking distance as opposed to being down big numbers.
So Gladness goes to the free throw line, the 6'8" senior.
Big Ten looks like to be wide open. Mateen Cleaves really struggling as he comes up empty on that free throw line. You think of the Big Ten, you got to certainly concern yourself if you're a team in that league playing Indiana. Bloomington, they're not going to lose too often. And you got to like Purdue. They're going to be a good club. Michigan State, I still think, is going to break out of a little schneid once they get Mateen Cleaves to become the good player that he is, because he has been mediocre at best. I mean, 3 for 18 and 2 for 15 against Connecticut and Duke is not going to get it done against quality competition.
He had the off night against Duke. We thought he'd rebound over the weekend against UConn. Didn't happen. Ashimo Evans for 3.
Well, that's a good shot of the offense. Wide open, squared his body, and knocked it down.
And you hear the moos in the back. Not boos, but moos for Ashimo Evans.
Good job of rotating over defensively. Kentucky does a great job helping each other, playing a great team concept.
Guyton's been held to just 3 points.
Yeah, Guyton and Recker have not stepped up big here at all.
In the paint, in and out from Haston.
That's intensity, baby. That's intensity. We're going to look at Evans now. You're going to see him come off the screen. See, he uses Bradley's screen. Then he's going to set another one. And he's going to pop back out. There's Padgett going to try to free him. Steps away. Knocks down the 3.
Ashimo right now at 8 points is the leading scorer in the ballgame.
He's got a nice body. I like that body. Let's look at Mr. Tubby Smith. All happened for him. May 6, 1997 was a sad day in Kentucky. That was the day that Rick Pitino announced he was moving on. A lot of people were depressed. 6 days later.
That was a sad day in Athens, Georgia, 6 days later.
Yeah, C.M. Newton pulled the trigger and hired Mr. Tubby Smith. I love C.M. and he's one of the great administrators in college athletics. Just a tremendous decision maker.
Well, they're pretty proud that their football team is bowl-bound with Tim Couch, and Tim Couch will be in New York Saturday as part of our Heisman festivities. So if you tune into that before the game that Dick and I are going to do with Kentucky and Maryland.
A nice fake. You mentioned that bowl game and that Outback Bowl. They were ecstatic with that chance to go out there to campus.
Bradley picks up his first foul. Still a 7-point game.
See, here's if you're a star player. You're a wrecker or a guy and your team is struggling offensively.
You got to take over.
You got to become the big-time PT peer. You got to step up and make the big play. You and I were talking about their last great team was 1993, 31-4. And Cheney and company. Nice tip right there.
Nice foul by Guyton off the glass.
There's some guys who can step up on that club with Damon Bailey and Cheney and company.
Those guys are all up there in the top 5 in all-time scoring on this team. Evans tried to feed down low. It was a decent thought, but Padgett was looking the other way.
Well, the one thing keeping Kentucky right within striking distance, and not Kentucky, Indiana, is the fact they're playing on a defensive end. W did a great job at Tulsa and at Georgia, Sweet 16 at both places.
Nice backdoor cut by Guyton.
Well, see, Guyton stepped up, Brad. He's made 2 big plays now. That's execution. That's Indiana basketball. That's what the Hoosiers do really well. Move without the ball.
Down to 3 now.
AJ's too good a player.
Bradley works inside, had it blocked, but he's fouled by Haston. Haston got the ball, but he also got him on the hand.
I really like Hastings' ability in terms of agility. We're going to watch right here now. Right here. Watch the backdoor cut. I'm going to see the dump down in this area. You're going to see A.J. Guyton with a little backdoor cut. There it is. He catches Turner staring at the ball. Padgett a little bit slow, rotating over to give help. Great cut without the ball from the young man from Peoria, Illinois, where they produce loads of great high school players.
Michael Bradley's been pretty quiet tonight, too, but then so is everyone, I guess, for that matter. He's got 4 points now.
I'm going to see his buddy tomorrow, Joey DePina. In fact, he, DePina, and Elton Tyler, who plays for Miami, all 3 had given commitments to Boston College. But when a couple couldn't get in school, they said bye-bye, and all 3 said they're gone, and Jim O'Brien's gone down at Ohio State.
That's right. That was one of the straws that kind of broke Jim's back on thinking about going someplace else.
He's got to crush a lot of alumni across the Boston area when they see Bradley play and know they could have had him in a Boston College uniform.
Right. Lewis gets it down to Guyton. They're trying to get Guyton isolated now. Evans off the glass, 3 straight.
I like what I see out of him now, Brad. He's becoming the attacker, the aggressor. He doesn't seem to be just thinking and mentally thinking about every play. He's right now anticipating and attacking.
9 points now for A.J. Bradley with a hook inside.
Nice move inside. Good offensive skills by Bradley down in the low post area.
Boy, has this thing picked up in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, it really has.
It had nowhere to go but up, though.
I'll tell you, Bobby Knight is such in tune to what's happening on the floor. So intense.
Recker.
Great. Yes, sir. Recker and Guyton. They must have heard us, Brad. They stepped it up. Hey, this is Indiana basketball and Kentucky. You know what we saw in the first half?
Down to 2 now. 28-26.
Nothing like when balls are falling to give a game a little lift.
Inside. Kentucky can't convert, but it'll still be their ball.
Hey, when you look at Kentucky's schedule, 3-conference schedule for Tubby Smith,
brutal.
It doesn't get easy. They got Maryland, and then they got a date in the Jimmy V Classic for our buddy Jimmy V, and all the money going to cancer research against a fair team called the Duke Blue Devils. Sold
Incredible
out.
schedule.
Sold out in the Meadowlands in New Jersey. In fact, I was going to call you up. I got to get some tickets. I got a lot of friends in Jersey. I need some tickets, Brad. Help me out.
I'm surprised I'm not there with you. I think I'm out doing football somewhere. Foul down low. Foul on Lewis is his first. But Indiana has picked things up, courtesy A.J. Guyton, especially 6 points here in a hurry, Dick.
There he is, 101. Guyton taking it to the goal. And here's Mr. Wrecker, the wrecking crew. He says, hey, I got to get going, baby. And he knocks it down, tickles the twine.
Bill Pito in the studio updating Miami of Ohio against Marshall, all tied up at 54 inside of 5 minutes. Wally Zerbiak on the inside draws a foul. And right now, Miami of Ohio up 7, Brad.
All right, Bill. Well, Wally's world there. It's A.J.'s joint right here in Louisville, I think, after what he's done in the second half. Indiana 4 out of 6 from the floor, and A.J. Guyton's perfect 3 for 3.
There's A.J. Nice pass from Lewis. Then we see the backdoor cut, moving without the basketball. And then a one-on-one in the isolation. Takes him to the basket. He's got to drive and utilize his speed and quickness.
So between Wrecker and Guyton, they've got 14 points. And 9 of those have come here really in about the last 2 minutes.
You know, Bill was just talking about that Marshall game against Miami of Ohio. What about the Mid-American Conference? Toledo beats Ohio State. Ohio University beats Syracuse. Marshall blows out Massachusetts. Miami of Ohio's got wins over Notre Dame and Tennessee. Western Michigan beats the heck out of Michigan. Unbelievable. That conference is the most underrated conference in America. And I feel so bad for the Miami of Ohio football team. You and I were talking. One loss, and they don't get a bowl bid, and they beat North Carolina in terms of earlier this year.
There's a lot of people that are not bowl happy this week as Shimu Evans drops in his second 3 of this half.
I'll tell you, Shimu's stepping up big time. He can make that open jump shot. Hit a big 3 against Duke in that comeback when it was 17 down. With 9 on the clock in the Elite 8 matchup.
Wrecker on a fade, got it.
Luke Wrecker now he's starting to assert himself. Things are heating up now.
Early 128. This might be a normal basketball score before it's all over after all. Evans walked with it.
Yep.
8th turnover against Kentucky.
We're going to see Luke Wrecker right now, a little one-on-one facing Evans. He wants to shoot the basketball. There he is, squaring his body. Gets that good rotation, good follow-through.
Indiana trailing only by 3 and a chance to tie it up or cut it to 1 if they score this trip.
Spacing so important to the Indiana offense.
Wrecker another fadeaway. The follow's missed. Ball still loose on the baseline. Comes out in Kentucky's favor. Evans on the run.
Prince.
A dish to Bradley.
He goes to Bradley. Evans handling the ball. There they are in transition. I'll tell you, talk about transition. When they had Mercer, Anderson, and Walker and company, and the Delks and the McCartys. I mean, all these guys playing at the next level. Wow, they're in the zone right now. Come out of the man-to-man.
And Lewis walked with it. So that's a 4-point swing at least that the general has to look at.
There's Evans right now taking the ball to the goal. Defense trying to rotate over to take the charge as the kick out to Bradley. He knows how to finish. He can score. Mr. Evans
does everything. He's got 11 points now again, like he had against Kansas when he had 11 points and 11 rebounds. Here's Prince.
You know, look at the zone concept right there. I don't mean that typical man-to-man. They're playing some zone right now. That's usually a no-no for Indiana. They're zoning.
Bradley nice touch to Padgett. Blocked underneath and then tipped in by Bradley.
Bradley really active. Bobby Knight might need a TO, baby. I'll tell you one thing. When you talk about Indiana defense, Quinn Buckner said it the other day. It's usually pressure on the basketball and help from the other side with a lot of zone principles. But that was a straight zone.
Yes, it was. Backing in against Bradley and turning in the lane. Good move, a strong move by William Gladness. That's his first field goal.
Yeah, he's got to get a little active inside. He's got good low post ability. Now they're back in the man-to-man. Came out of that zone. Bobby Knight, his entire career has been 99.9% man-to-man.
We just saw the .1.
Yeah. I saw one time against Notre Dame they had Fox Rivers.
Guyton tried to keep that alive. Bradley ends up with a loose ball.
Nice
Turner
pass.
all alone in the lane, blocked in there by Hastings.
There's that 6'11" Hastings. He can run the court as well.
All the way down goes Guyton. They kick it back out. Wrecker 3. And Evans clears it off. Does everything.
Yeah, he does it all. There's no question. He's really their guy, stepping up big time, very active, defensively and offensively. Transfer from out of Manhattan.
Paget.
Nice
Give
pass.
to Bradley. Stripped out of there by Haston. Nice job defensively again.
Hastings really giving him a lot of positive minutes.
35-30 Kentucky. Kick ball by Paget.
Bobby Knight, the general, working that sideline. Masterful teacher. Look at this right here. Oh, we got a zone here. They're playing an area of the floor. Look at this here. 1-2-2 setup. It's unbelievable. A zone simply meaning, again, you play an area of the floor. But they left a big gap right in the 3-second area. See, they're not familiar playing that zone. He just tried to show it to throw them off a little.
If you're watching that at home, tape it. You won't see it very often.
Look at the shooting here in the first half versus the second half.
It had nowhere to go, as you said, but up, and it has gone up. 35-30.
And there's the zone with Prince up on top with those long arms to bother any three-point shooters. We got a 6'7" up on top with a wingspan he talked about earlier. Wow, look at that wingspan of the big guy.
At the arms of the 7-footer. Guyton behind the back. 7 on the shot clock. Haston missed outside, kept alive by Gladness. And now Guyton again on the baseline.
A.J. Guyton, I don't know how he's sneaking inside. Nobody's laying a body on him.
All his points have come from about 10 feet and in. He's got 8 this half, 11 for the game. And it's a 3-point ball game again. Saul Smith packs it into Jamal McClure with a hook. Rebound to Fife.
Fife, a club competitor, mentally just a fierce competitor. He's had some shoulder problems earlier this year.
Guyton lost a handle on his way to the hoop. And in the scramble, it's going to be Indiana ball. We're going to have to wait to see that inbounds pass. Indiana's cut into Kentucky's lead with 11:26 remaining in the ball game. The Cats by 3. All I want for Christmas is to be like Dickie V.
No. One of me's enough. Just ask my wife.
He's got more hair than you, and it's a different color. Ho, 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 baby!
Oh, Santa, what's Santa going to bring me this year?
Ashimu Evans has had a great stretch here in the second half.
There he is, squaring up, shooting the jump shot. Now he's going to pop out again. He flares out, uses the screen really well. Very active. I tell you, really shooting with confidence. Playing with confidence.
He's going to get a breather coming out of this huddle, but again, look at the all-around game. 7 boards to go with his 11 points. 2 assists as well. And it's Kentucky by 3, but Indiana again with another opportunity to cut into that lead as they'll inbound on the baseline.
Sometimes it's an edge having that player with the 5th year, like they had last year with Jeff Shepard.
Right.
Well, they missed Shepard and Nazir Muhammad on the inside. And then you think about guys, nobody talks about Edwards and certainly Cameron Mills, who was talking to us at halftime here. He's the team chaplain.
That's right. Full-time evangelist, he says. Team chaplain. And doing a little bit of TV work on the side.
Everybody wants to work in TV.
On the baseline, what a tough shot by Rector. There's a guy that's majoring in sports communications. He just communicated to us with that turnaround.
I'll tell you, that's a big-time low-post move. Came along that horizontal screen. Shoot the little fadeaway jump shot. He and Guyton have really stepped it up. You got to really respect the fact that they have stepped it up to get Indiana into this game.
About 6 minutes ago, we said they were going to have to come to the forefront, and they both have. And now it's a 1-point ball game.
That's what P.T. Pierce have to do if you're going to be special.
Big battle inside. McClure banging around in there. And I think Ed Hightower is going to pull the two big guys together and have a little chat with them about it.
This Recker flashing to the low post right here. Took it up with Prince. Little fake, and he shoots that little fadeaway. Little fadeaway Jay. Came in so ballyhoo, got so much publicity and notoriety coming out of high school. No one received the publicity, though, as Damon Bailey received when Damon arrived.
That's for sure.
I was looking at Damon's numbers. He had some great numbers at Indiana. Shooting the 3 better than 40%. Plays now for Keith Smart with the Fort Wayne Fury in a CBA. Yeah. Keith Smart, remember, he had that acrobatic shot to beat Syracuse for the national championship 1987.
Kamara had 1 go, and the other one came out. The rebound comes off Hillary Richardson.
Well, we're going to have a close competitive game, baby, right to the end. It may not have been artistic early. Kentucky, Indiana. Tradition galore.
And foul inside. Foul's going to be on Turner. That's Wayne's second.
Wayne Turner, just a winner. Look at that right there.
Well, Georgia came back to beat Appalachian State. They were down by 6 at halftime.
I mean, GG, his son, Tubby's son's probably out of tune now watching his dad and his brother play.
Guyton, quite a second half. 9 in this half, 12 for the game. Evans comes in, and Tayshaun Prince goes out.
You know, you look at the SEC right now, I think Georgia's certainly going to be a major factor before it's all said and done. Tennessee is going to certainly, I think, get better and better with experience as the year goes on. They just beat Pittsburgh the other day in a defensive battle. South Carolina's starting to heat it up, and B.J. Mackey in Florida is very good. That Eastern Division.
And we're tied halfway through the second half, believe it or not.
Indiana now really playing on the defensive end. A lot of pressure on the basketball and help from the help side. They zone from the help side, like Quinn Buckner said during a Temple game.
Second tie of the ball game. It was 2-2, and now it's 36 apiece, and a walk on Kamara on the baseline.
I'll tell you the one trademark you have to like about Indiana, and they have shown this all year long. Bobby Knight said last year we would have lost a lot of the game, that we have come back and won because these kids have heart, and they don't quit.
Indiana 8-1 run in the last 3.5 minutes, and they have a chance to lead for the first time in the ball game. Haston inside. Didn't get the roll.
But he's smooth. He's got a nice touch. The big guy's going to become a heck of a player.
Padgett's going to check back in for Kentucky. 9:40 left in regulation, 36-36.
Well, now he has to answer the call of Guyton and answer the call of Rector. Scott Padgett, he's the guy that's got a lot of experience, winning experience, a lot of reputation, and now he's got to step up on his home turf. He's from Louisville. He's got to make some big plays.
Turner, Smith, Evans, Padgett, and McGlure on the floor for the Wildcats.
Padgett right now, this matchup's got a lot more experience than Hastings.
Evans saw Smith, got an opening, 3 rimmed out, Hastings the rebound. Indiana again. A chance to lead.
Saul getting some open looks. Ball not falling. Matchup right now. You got Rector and Turner. Rector should go to the inside against him, take advantage of his size.
He's going to try. And a whistle. And foul on Turner. That'll be Wayne's 3rd personal with 8:56 left in the ball game. Well, we invite you to join us for the most prestigious award in college sports. Be with ESPN on Saturday, the Heisman Trophy presentation presented by Wendy's. Ricky Williams is the favorite. Tim Couch of Kentucky will be there. And Chris and Kirk and Lee and the gang will all be there to bring you the Heisman Trophy presentation. We have 8:56 left in the second half. From Freedom Hall in Louisville, Brad Nessler and Dick Vitale with you. A battle between Kentucky and Indiana. We're deadlocked at 36. Inbounds way out court to Rector in the backcourt. In fact, now he'll bring it back up. 30 seconds on the shot clock and a chance for Indiana to take the lead. Something they have never had.
Story of Indiana basketball all year. It's been nail-ox time. Nail-biter after nail-biter.
Hoosiers for the lead. Richardson pulls down the rebound and a foul on Evans. They were trying to force a jump ball or a possession arrow and couldn't get it.
Well, Tubby's got to be disappointed right now from the fact that Indiana is beating Kentucky to the loose balls. Tubby Smith came out of Great Mills High School in Maryland, went to High Point College. He is in the big time. Doesn't get much bigger, baby, than Kentucky basketball.
High point for him was winning the last national title last year. The only thing you can do for an encore is win another one.
The expectations, you raised that bar so high.
Underneath, Guyton a good cut, but he went up against the tall timber. McGlure swatted out of there.
That's what they do really well. McGlure's an excellent shot blocker, averaging about 3 a game in part-time minutes. Steal by Fife. The freshman. Nice pass.
Feeds to Guyton.
Nice look by Fife. Good steal. Guyton finishes it.
Indiana leads for the first time.
And they're jumping with joy down at Bloomington, baby. They're jumping down at Bloomington. You better believe it.
Under 8 minutes, 38-36, Indiana.
We got a good one now, Brad.
McGlure kicks out.
Oh, he's got to shoot it. He had it.
For the tie off the glass.
Oh, off the bank. I thought the bank was closed. He banked it in.
Late night drive-through, I guess. 38-38. Everybody takes their seat and settles in. Fife almost walked with it. Around a pick. Fife on a drive.
Nice move by Fife. He's made 2 great plays in the last 2 possessions. Excellent pass and tough drive to the basket. The former quarterback.
The Hoosiers again by a deuce as we approach 7 minutes.
Fife going to the basket.
Paget down low, in traffic, double teamed, and he'll go to the free throw line.
You gotta like that. You gotta like when stars step up.
Scott Paget's parents here, obviously.
And Mom and Dad, look at Mom. She's a little nervous right now. She's got that little look of nervousness. That's her guy on that foul line. They're from Louisville.
Wilbur and Linda watching Scott go to the free throw line where he's really struggled this year. He's only shooting 50%, and quite frankly, he's one of the best free throw shooters in the country last year. Just one of those slumps that they don't know the reason. He hopes that the three-point shooting he had in the win over Miami in the second half, he said to his teammates, okay, that's the end of the slump. So,
exactly. He's got to be able to have that kind of confidence. He said, look at 81% versus 50.
Well, maybe it is over. He rips that one.
Once a few go down. I remember Rick Pitino talking about him when he was sitting out one year. He said, we get this kid. He said he's going to really help us because he can go inside, outside. He can pass the basketball.
Well, there was a time when he wasn't taking care of his classwork, that he was out running a landscape business. And now he's a senior on the defending national champion basketball team.
Now he's going to be able to own a few landscape businesses.
He tied it up at 40, hit them both. Well, if you were going to go out and change your Christmas lights about a half an hour ago, don't go anywhere now. We're tied at 40. Fife the freshman.
There's Fife with the steal. He kicks it out to Guyton. Count it, baby. Here comes the Frosh, the diaper dandy. Kicks it to the PTPer. Scoring.
Bob Knight, his 1,000th game. One of only 12 coaches with 700 victories, the winningest active head coach in college basketball. And there you see in 34 seasons what he's done. 11 Big Ten titles, 3 national championships. Virtually every year the NCAA, 13 straight anyway, part of 22.
And the one thing you don't see that he's really proud of is the fact of his players going on, making it in life, and graduating out at Indiana. He is so proud of that, and the ability to stay away from any NCAA investigation. 98% of the players. And there's his beautiful bride. There's Karen. She's a Hall of Famer herself in basketball at Oklahoma. I wonder if she sits there and tucks some X's and O's when they go home at night.
Well, that'd be something to watch as a little fly on the wall, wouldn't it? Tie game, full court pressure. Broken easily by Gladness.
Now we get down to execution. So important when we get down to winning time. As you look at the points in the paint right now. First half and second half.
That's kind of deceiving because Guyton's got 10 of those points in the paint, and he's one of the smallest guys on the court.
Yeah, nobody's blocked him out. He's been able to get to the basket.
Here he is against Evans. Nice crossover. He crossed himself up.
Got the ball back out. Good reversal. Got to knock that down.
Turner drives and leaves it off for Richardson.
Turner should have shot the basketball. Had the open shot, and he can shoot it.
And Bradley walked with it.
Tubby to jacket off on that sideline. Got the beautiful blue shirt.
And White Donna here.
She's a great lady.
Guyton baseline. Rimmed it out. Bradley will not walk with this one. Clears it off to one of the guards.
They're going to give Bradley some touches inside as well. He's very effective down in that box.
Yeah, he's got 8 points this half.
Hasn't been able to get the ball enough. They set a screen. The screener becomes the most dangerous guy.
Bradley wide open. Doesn't take a dribble toward the basket.
Trying to get that reversal. Evans, that's the way you end a drought. He's not bashful. He'll shoot the rock, baby. But that was great execution. Good ball movement, player movement. They were very active, and it created the opening.
The Shibu Evans three-pointer gives the Wildcats the 3-point lead back at the 5.5-minute mark.
I was reminiscent of the big threes he hit against Utah in the national championship. They were down 10, and he sparked them back against Rick Majerus' club.
Turner got bumped as he let go of that three. They didn't call a foul, and coming out of there, Evans was thinking Bradley was going to take it, and the ball ends up just being loose and picked up by Indiana.
Yeah, Bradley's trying to come up with the ball and pull up and give it to the guards.
They were too concerned about trying to run and forgot to take the ball with them.
You gotta have the basketball.
It helps.
Call it to some running backs in football. Call it to Brett Favre last night, who fumbled 6 times.
Bradley bumps Fife on his way through the lane, and he'll pick up his second foul. Purdue trailing at halftime.
Evan Stallings, I believe this is the last year at Illinois State. He's heading for big, big places.
Rutgers trying to pick off Georgetown.
They got an outstanding guard in the kid Billett down there. They signed his brother an outstanding guard. Everybody wanted him. Rutgers.
Indiana tried to play from behind for the umpteenth time in this game. They actually had two-point leads here in the last 3 minutes or so at 38-36 and 40-38, but now they trail by 3.
They've been down the umpteenth times, so many times this year. Sitting earlier, 19 down at a half to Indiana State, 18 down to Kansas State, 11 down to Notre Dame late, 11 down to Temple.
Guyton's going to try to take Turner on the jumper.
Good shot right there by Guyton. That was a good shot, just did not go down.
Evans pulls down the loose ball rebound. Hashimu Evans on his way to another double-double tonight, it appears.
Indiana needs to stop right now. You can sort of feel like Uncle Mo is starting to swing to Kentucky. Oh, he's got to flash to the ball a little quicker. It's wide open if he flashes to the ball quicker.
Evans thought about a three, drives with a right hand instead.
There's Evans. He's becoming a star. He doesn't want to be any longer George Costanza. He doesn't want to be Jason Alexander. He wants to be Seinfeld. He wants the star, Billy.
He wants to at least be Kramer. He's got 16 points. It's back up to 5.
In possession.
Swatted out of there by Bradley. Evans the kick out to Saul Smith on the break.
And nobody there. There's a jam. There's a jam. Might have to think of a timeout, General. Here comes that spark. We talked about Uncle Mo is starting to swing. And it's swung to Kentucky. And down to Lexington. They're dancing, baby.
9 straight for the Wildcats. And they're back in front by 7. Ashley Judd enjoying the show.
Oh, that's one of my favorites. Ashley's in the house. Oh, Ashley's in the house.
Hashimu Evans has been the guy that sparked this. First, he hit a three-pointer at the 5:40 mark, top of the circle. This is the three-pointer, his 3rd of the ball game.
I'll tell you one thing. Mr. Evans has shown he can go to the perimeter. He shows he's a slasher. He shows that he's got agility and great body control. And there he is, gliding to the basket. And there's the bench with jubilation. Oh, does that make practice sweet the next day when you get a W over a big-time opponent?
So it was move for 2, and it's 47-40. Loose ball in the lane. Bradley had a hand on it, lost it. And now a foul. Offensive foul.
Indiana struggling the last 2 minutes, and you can't allow a spurt by Kentucky to get away from you.
3:22 left. Cats by 7. 47-40 Kentucky with 3:22 left. We were tied up at 40. And then Hashimu Evans has taken over here in the last couple of minutes.
Made some big plays when we had him against Kansas. He likes the big marquee game.
Indiana has gone 4 minutes without a field goal.
Yeah, bad time to go into one of those unbelievable droughts as you look at these. Now remember, Indiana's not a team that's going to roll over. They're going to fight and scrap back. They were down late against Temple, and this guy hit 2 big threes.
There's the story. Their comebacks one more time, so don't go too far away. You never know at the buzzer who might be in front when this one's over.
They're the cardiac kids this year. I'll tell you one thing, there's no quitting that club. Played good competition early up in Maui. They had a nice win over Utah in a real battle, 52-49. Came back against Kansas State and ran out of gas and lost to Syracuse. But Bustin Shumpert stepped up big for Syracuse with like 19 big points, shot some big threes.
First, they need a defensive stop here.
See, they're getting very active offensively, getting good ball movement. There's that reversal.
Evans almost launched.
You got to really communicate against this offense. You got to talk, got to help one another. See ball man, got to see both.
Down to 8 on the shot clock. Turner has a look up.
He'll break it down.
Fife to work. Trying to leave it for Bradley. There's the stop. A steal by Guyton.
Now this is a big possession. This big possession. They can't come up empty here with 2:45 down 7. They got to get some points on the board. You got to get Guyton and you got to get Mr. Rector. Got to look to make this play.
Hastings drives on Paget.
He said, what about me? I can make it at 18 and 16 against Indiana State.
Hastings made it a 5-point game. Under 2.5 to go.
They use those down screens so effectively. Oh, they missed Evans right here. Being played right now by Rector.
One thing Kentucky can do is go in an offensive shell here.
Gotta watch the 5-second count.
Saul Smith kicks out. Evans. Had a great look. Hastings cleared off the miss.
Hastings, big score, big rebound.
Guyton feeds the baseline. Washington underneath. Had it partially blocked. Turner comes up with a loose ball.
That's what Turner excels. Transition.
And a blocking foul on Fife.
With the Fife for the call, rotating over just a little bit too late.
NFL action coming up this weekend on ESPN. Sunday night, tune in. This is going to be a dandy as Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins battle the New York Jets for first place in the AFC East. Then on Monday night, the 49ers play host to the Lions on ABC's Monday Night Football. Your exclusive home for the NFL, ESPN, and ABC for prime time NFL football Sunday and Monday. Turner at the line.
He's really improved his free throw shooting. You check his numbers from the beginning of his career to now. Hey, Testaverde versus Marino, a rigatoni special. Get out the Manigotti as you look here at the free throw line.
Turner 62% last year, up to 71% coming into this game. And he got them both.
Doesn't look pretty, but it goes down.
It doesn't even come close to pretty.
It doesn't look pretty,
Your free throw shooting's prettier.
We're going to play on a defensive end now, though.
49-42. Hastings way out on the left side. Bradley pulls off the weak side rebound. That was a big, big rebound right there.
Tell you what an improved player he is.
Evans!
Oh! Can you believe it? What a reverse jump! He made like Michael Jordan! Oh, what an unbelievable jam, Mr. Evans!
Even his teammates saluting him. I don't think they even knew he could hang that long.
I'll tell you, that is basically what we used to see with Mercer and Antoine Walker and Mr. Derek Anderson, Duncan machines. Right here, they had the great Duncan Club. Remember the Duncan Club here, the Doctors of Dunks?
9-point lead, timeout Indiana. Matching the biggest advantage of the game, but watch this reverse slam by Hashimu Evans. With the glide, the hang time, and pow.
Wow.
It's a battle under the Midwest moon as the Iowa Hawkeyes invade Allen Fieldhouse to face the 8th-ranked Kansas Jayhawks, led by senior Ryan Robertson and sophomore Kenny Gregory. It's another war, and it's up next.
And here, it is 51-42. I don't know about Maryland being number 1. We'll find out a lot more about them in the end of the week, I guess. They got to play Kentucky. And we talked about Kentucky's non-conference schedule, and there's not a ho-ho or a Twinkie in this whole thing. Get your cupcake stuff.
Not too many cupcakes here, baby. I'll tell you what, all these teams are legit basketball teams from big-time conferences, but that's the way it's supposed to be at Kentucky, Indiana, and the Dukes. You're not supposed to play all those cupcakes, baby.
Well, we've got Kentucky, Indiana tonight. You and I will see them against Maryland on Saturday. Then they have next week off for finals, and then it's you and I at the Georgia Dome watching them play Georgia Tech. So we're going to see them every game here and see how much they improve.
There's Rector with a big jump shot.
That was huge. Rector with a dozen now. Under a minute, and it's loose ball. Turner picks it up out to Guyton.
Shoot it! Shoot it!
3. Got it!
Another big trifecta. That shot will change the complexion of a game, baby. The NBA, nothing but nylon jumpers.
Went from 9 to 3, courtesy of Luke Rector. And the comeback kids won't quit.
Now that's what makes this club so special. They got really loads of heart and guts. They've been battling all year.
Turner. This
is a big possession right here. Got to play under control.
Under a half minute, 14 on the shot clock.
He was stopped here.
Turner against Guyton. Leaves it for Bradley. Took his eye off the ball for a moment. Evans tried to cross court, and they don't get a shot away, although there is 1 second left. Good defense by Indiana, but quite frankly, I think Evans should have pulled the trigger instead of trying one more pass, and a timeout taken.
See, here's the situation Jimmy V and I used to talk about all the time. If they get the basketball back, Indiana, and there's no score here, I don't believe you let him shoot the three.
Luke Recker was quiet in the first half to the tune of only 2 points, but he comes up with the 2 biggest threes of the night.
Didn't hesitate to knock down that J, baby. He took it, squared his body, released it, let it go. They come up with a stop here and get the ball. See, I don't let him shoot the three. I don't give him an opportunity to get the top. You play tough pressure defense, but when they come up, you make them go to the foul line.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what Kentucky comes up with. 1 second exactly remaining before the expiration of the shot clock. 15.2 on the game.
So many times I've seen teams allow them to shoot the three, and you end up going to OT. When you can win that basketball game, too many things have to happen to beat you in terms of letting the guy go to the foul line.
Lob it underneath. Bradley got his hands on it. Shot clock expired.
That's the only thing they can do. That's the only thing they can do.
And now Indiana, 13.2 left.
See, I play some pressure defense, and when they get up into the scoring area, Brad, I don't let them shoot the three. He wanted some interference call.
And now timeout, 22nd timeout taken by Kentucky. Gerald Boudreau called over by Bob Knight. Don't forget Iowa and 8th-ranked Kansas following us.
Question is, did it hit the rim?
I didn't think it did.
I didn't think it hit the rim either.
By there it did, but by that time it was too late, I think.
Yeah, I think the expiration had taken place.
Boy, really close.
Can't tell from here. But now you got to go with the strategy that's at hand. If I'm Kentucky now, I apply pressure, make some time come off that 13.2 seconds. When they get up in this area, you don't want to foul them, obviously, shooting a three to give them 3 attempts. Right. What I'm talking about is you make them have to go to the line, you inbounds the basketball, and you win the game. Now, a lot of people say, well, suppose you don't throw the ball in bounds. Well, you don't deserve to win. If a guy's going to make 2, steal, score, they deserve to win the game. They got too many weapons shooting the three when you talk Guyton and Recker, who can put you in the OT.
Well, Recker's 3 out of 6 from outside the arc. The rest of the team is 0 for 7. So they'd love to get it in his hands with a good look.
Well, Guyton was a guy that was 0 for 8 and knocked one down in the last minute and then hit one with 5.5 seconds to beat Temple in the last game.
So those are the 2 guys, number 4, number 25. They have added a second to the clock, and that apparently was the discussion over there.
A good defensive game plan right here by Kentucky. Apply some pressure so this allows time to come off the clock. Got to watch for somebody releasing long.
It'll be Fife to inbound, and he's got the great arm. The former quarterback doesn't have to use it. Now he'll bring it up, though.
Plenty of time to get a good shot. Now, see, when you get down here, I would let him get that screen and get that three.
Number 8, got to hurry. Haston, Fife, got his hand in the air. Got it!
There it is! There it is! You can't let him shoot the three, Brad Nessler! Can't let him shoot the three, Brad Nessler!
1.7 left. Kentucky will still have a chance to touch it, but the freshman from Clarkston, Michigan just hit the biggest shot of his young Indiana career.
And she says she likes it. Look at her. That's Karen Knight. And also, you got to believe Mr. Fife. I tell you, his dad's jumping with joy in Clarkston, a former Michigan player.
Watch the great fake he put on to get his man in the air.
Well, that's the same thing that happened, basically, a ball fake that got Guyton the shot. Only his was to the corner where he faked. This is a nice head fake, doesn't walk, stays under control.
Only the 4th three-pointer that Dane Fife has hit this year, and he drops it.
Very calm, Mr. Knight, with Ron Felling sitting next to him. His son Patrick, an assistant coach right now, saying he's doing a heck of a job.
How's that feel for a kid that's Not even 19 years old.
That'll make you a BMOC campus down in Bloomington. See, Brad, there it goes again. My feeling, I've seen so many games over the years here at ESPN and ABC. I just think in that situation, you got to make them go to the line. You can't give them the look for the three.
Recker hit 2, and then Fife with that huge shot with 1.7 to go, or this game would have been over. A 9-0 run, all courtesy of 3-pointers. 2 by Luke Recker, 1 by Dane Fife. We're tied, and
nothing like the three-point shot. It's been comeback city all year long for the Hoosiers. Take a look right here. You don't make these things happen unless you got special people, unless you got kids who believe, and kids with heart and with guts and the fortitude to fight back in adversity. They've been doing it all season long because they do not possess the great talent of the great Indiana teams over the years that we have seen prior to, well, from 93, they had a great team in 93 with Chaney and company.
The coach may have kept his cool on that last shot. How did his wife do on that? That little bit more emotion there.
But she's the coach. She's the coach. They also had on that team in 93, Alan Henderson.
Now remember, 1.7 all that's left. Kentucky's got to get a fairly decent inbound, and if I was them, I'd be thinking about getting it in the Louisville native's hand, Scott Padgett, and let him try to pull a Christian Laettner.
Yeah, they can try one of those plays, miracle plays. We've seen it happen. In fact, this year, Cincinnati beats Duke with a miracle play, a Sammy Sosa home run. Right. Baseline to the top of the circle, a guy cutting. We seen it last year when the kid Bryce Drew nailed it down there with Mississippi when Valparaiso won.
Well, Padgett's going to be the inbound man, so he's going to be the guy that'll throw it in. That means Hashimu Evans has the best percentage of three-pointers, especially in this game.
See, a lot of guys are afraid to go after the basketball when it's in the air because they're afraid of contact to put somebody on the foul line. That ball's anybody's ball in the air. You got to go get it.
Saul Smith, also a decent long-range shooter.
92. Now you're talking about the dramatic one.
Loose ball picked up. Wow, Indiana's the one that got the shot off, and they hit the backboard. We're going to overtime.
We're going to OT, baby. We're going to OT.
This one definitely got better, didn't it, everybody? End of regulation. Indiana 51, Kentucky 51. Dick and I will be back after this timeout. With Dick Vitale, Brad Nessler back with you at Freedom Hall in Louisville. 51-51, and the two guys that had to come to the forefront in the second half that Dick and I talked about certainly have answered the bell. 30 points between Recker and Guyton. Recker hit 2 huge threes, and then it was up to the freshman, Dane Fife, who hit the one that sent this thing into overtime.
Well, if this goes according to Bobby Knight's conversation with me this afternoon, he said to me, if a team has the game basically won and somehow it's taken away from them and it's forced to an OT, usually they will come out on the losing side. So if that philosophy exists, Indiana should prevail.
Twice previously in this series, these games have gone to overtime between Kentucky and Indiana. We talked about how many close games there have been in the last 7 or 8. Padgett around a pick for 3.
Nice execution, good offensive movement. Remember, Indiana's lost 4 in a row. Only 2 teams have beaten them 5 times in a row throughout the night career, Illinois and Kansas.
Scott Padgett with a dozen now. The lead is 3 here in overtime.
Got to get some screens for Recker. Somebody's going to lace a big screen. Hastings screened inside. They got to get a screener.
Hastings wheels inside on Bradley over a double team. And a pretty decent turnaround shot. Bradley clears off the miss. Here comes Turner. Wayne all the way.
Oh, he does that as well as anybody in college basketball. He goes coast to coast with the best of them. He takes the rock in his hand and he just explodes to the goal.
Talk about a game of streaks. A 5-point streak here to start overtime for Kentucky. Saul Smith held his ground and forced a traveling violation.
Not the way you want to start OT. Look at this tonight.
Face the same color as the sweaters. Whoop, there goes
that
technical.
Oh, does that one hurt big time?
His son's coming up and trying to cool him off. He just put a dent over there, I think, on the Louisville side with his right foot. Whoop, there goes another one.
His son rotating over now. That's his son back. His That's a big T right there.
His assistant coaches have put a triangle and 2 on him, and it still hasn't slowed him down.
He makes these 2 to get possession of the basketball.
Scott Padgett. And that one rolls off for Padgett.
We got a break right there.
Padgett hits 1 of 2, and this is what stirred the technical. First, comes over to the scores table, boom.
Yeah, that's tea time right there, baby.
And now the ball in hand in a 6-point lead. 57-51.
They need a big-time stop right here, Brad. I go to Padgett. He wants the rock. He's got a size advantage inside. I'd go to him. He's got a mismatch.
Kicks back out to Turner.
They're trying to give help, but right now they got a mismatch inside. He's being played by Turner. Trying to take some time off that clock.
And a foul down low. Tubby Smith was livid trying to get either a foul called or one of his players to move. And Fife picks up his 3rd foul.
Yeah, one thing, Recker is a real team leader on the floor. He's verbal, very emotional. He's an emotional leader.
Ashimu Evans right now can get his season high if he hits his free throw.
Nice stroke, but boy, in OT, that big jump shot by Padgett was unbelievably big.
58-51.
The game looked like it was slipping away there. That gave them some momentum, and they've taken command here.
And Evans got them both 20.
They're taking command, Brad, in the OT, Kentucky.
59-51. Indiana desperately in need of a bucket. Guyton had it stripped by Smith from behind.
They got to find Recker for a jumper. Lay a double squeeze for him.
Recker against Turner. Gonna drive. Bradley got him.
Well, he drew the contact. That's what you got to do. If you attack the basket, you're going to get chances and opportunities on a free throw line. It stops the clock as well.
Record goes to the free throw line.
And remember, all year long, this team is battling back, battling back. Look at Tubby working that sideline.
Recker's first trip to the line.
These guys are earning their cash on that sideline.
Recker's not a great free throw shooter, about 72%, but for how good he is from outside.
There's a look at Tubby's wife, Donna, cheering.
Recker got the second.
That puts some pressure on the basketball.
Luke's got 16, but the lead is 7 with 3 minutes left in the overtime period.
Kentucky getting some motion out of their offense away from the ball. Pass, go through the defense. Hump's got to defend his guys that move. The kids learn the art of moving without the ball, and they're so effective.
Saw that with Lamar Odom of Rhode Island.
Yeah, he's got to learn how to play without the ball, and he will. He's a skilled, tremendous talent.
8 on the shot clock. Turner behind the back, kicks out to Padgett. And Turner with a push.
Turner doesn't have the size to play, but he's battling him with his athletic ability. The one great thing having a kid like Turner is his penetration ability to get into that 3-second area. You can flare out, spot up, and shoot threes because he's going to draw a lot of people to him.
Scott Padgett, the Louisville native, at the free throw line, has 13 points on the night.
Yeah, it looks a lot better. I'll tell you, it looks a lot better when I've seen on videotape and what I've seen also in a game against Kansas. He seems to be playing with a little bit more spark. Those threes against Miami, I think psychologically, got him a little bit more involved offensively.
Scott got them both. 3 out of 4 from the stripe, so apparently the free throw shooting slump is over, and it gives his team a 9-point lead.
Kentucky on a little run, 10-1 run. What a time to have it in OT.
And timeout taken by Indiana. I thought there was going to be another technical on top of it, but there isn't. He's still working the officials as we go to the break. 2:26 left in OT.
Iowa is underway at Kansas. That game is to come here on ESPN after the conclusion of Indiana against Kentucky. That game's in overtime. Brad Nessler and Dick Vitale continue with the call from Freedom Hall. Let's send it back now to Brad.
All right, thanks, Bill. We are in overtime with 2:26 left. 61-52, and it's been all Kentucky in overtime.
Yeah, they really played well, and it all started with that three-point shot by Scott Padgett. We're going to watch him right now. It's called their power play. Now watch, the screener's the most dangerous guy. See, now watch the screen by Padgett. Then he steps out after the screen, frees it. Wide open, man. He squares the body. He lays the screen. The screener's the most dangerous player on the floor because people have a tendency to relax against the screener. And now he drills the jump shot, and there's jubilation in Kentucky.
Still 2:26 to go. If Indiana's got another run left in them, this one is far from over, but it has been dominated here in this overtime period by the Kentucky Wildcats. There's been a technical foul called on Bob Knight. He's still talking with Gerald Boudreau, who's the official that's going to inbound down on the baseline. I don't know if talking is the right term, but
Gerald had no choice. He had to call the technical. I mean, he was so demonstrative on the sideline. He had no choice but call the two.
Fife, Guyton, Hastings, Recker, and Turner on the floor for Indiana. Nice screen. Turner put on the other Turner. Here's Recker. Didn't get the bounce. Padgett the rebound.
Big time rebound by Padgett. The one thing about Bobby Knight, he puts his heart and his soul into his coaching.
Sometimes the sole of his shoe.
Yeah, that's a good line. That's a good line for him. But he really puts his heart and soul. I mean, it's unbelievable. The guy's had so much fame, so much acclaim. I mean, he's financially secure, but he loves to compete. He loves what he's doing.
Don't forget Iowa and Kansas. They're underway. We'll be going there as soon as we're done with our overtime section here. Saul Smith goes to the free throw line. Hasn't been there yet tonight.
Billy Reed, the outstanding writer, works for Sports Illustrated, works down here in Kentucky. Did a great story on Knight today in the Lexington paper. Talked about how he started his career. First game that he coached down at Princeton at 24 years of age at Army. And here it is, his 1000th game as a coach on that sideline.
And I see one of his proteges, if you can possibly call somebody as successful as Mike Krzyzewski, that tomorrow night.
Yeah, Mike was a former cadet, played for Bob. And Mike will tell you, he learned so much throughout his tenure. He also worked on that great teams that they had in Indiana in the mid-70s.
Two big free throws by Saul Smith makes that advantage 9 again.
That's 3 opportunities. He's going to knock some threes. He's going to screen for Guyton. Get him a look. But Saul Smith does a great job. It's a good perimeter defense on him. Make him drive. Don't give him a good look for the 3.
Recker, nice spin against Evans with the layup.
Big time slashing move right there by Recker, but good defense not to allow him to get the good look for the 3.
Recker with 18 foul. Fife fouls Padgett. And that's going to be 4 on Fife, I believe, as well.
See, Padgett's no 50% free throw shooter. Those stats are totally misleading when you look at his numbers here. When you look at Padgett on that free throw line, 15 for 30. That's not him. He's an 80% shooter.
Tonight he's 5 out of 6.
That's why Duke, you're going to see tomorrow. It's great when it's late in the game and Langman has the basketball. He's the best in all time in the ACC. He's like automatic. And I love Corey Maggette. Where do you see that kid?
Well, we saw him last week, but he didn't do much. But
yeah,
we saw him over the weekend when he did do something.
Oh, he was brilliant against NC State. And NC State's a good basketball team, but they just made them absolutely in a total mismatch early in that game.
Padgett, 5 straight, and 7 of 8 from the line. And it's 65-54. The lead's the biggest it's been all night, and now it's in overtime.
Yeah, Padgett really stepped up in the OT right here at home in Louisville. Played high school at St. Xavier here.
He's got 17 points here, playing in front of his mom and dad and a lot of friends and family.
He was able to get 8 tickets. He needed more, but he was able to get 8.
Kentucky now with 1:20 left, apparently on their way to their 8th win.
5th in a row over Indiana. They'll join Illinois and Kansas now, the only 3 teams to beat Indiana 5 times in a row.
And the foul is on Guyton.
And I'll tell you, the future is so bright when you talk about Kentucky with those great kids coming in next year. And, you know, Bobby Knight was telling me he's really excited about a kid named Newton he got out of Atlanta, and a kid by the name of George Leach from out of Charlotte at 6'10", who was recruited by Maryland, wanted him badly, and so did South Carolina. And a kid named Madison also coming out of New Hampshire. Went to the same prep school as Patrick Knight.
Talked about close games for Pat Knight, assistant coach now here.
There it is, Patrick now working for his dad. I'll tell you one thing, they got a great high school player from Bloomington, Indiana named Jeffries, a junior, about 6'10". Everybody's going to want.
Talk about close games. Last year, Kentucky in their national championship run went 7-1 in games decided by 3 points or less. So they know a little bit about hanging in there in the tough times as well. And tonight, after seeing a 9-point lead in regulation evaporate to a 51-51 game that sent into overtime, they dominated this 5-point extra session.
Tells you a little bit about Tubby Smith as a coach. You talk about winning those close games like that down the stretch.
That 3-pointer off the mark.
Got to feel a lot better now than he did a few minutes ago when his baby went to OT. I'll tell you that.
Well, when this next 52 seconds is up, I'll turn you loose to UMass. I'll head down to Cameron, and I'll see you at Rupp Arena Saturday.
Oh, wow. Maryland and Kentucky. It's going to be unbelievable at 8:30 Saturday night, right after the Heisman Trophy.
That's right.
Right after the Heisman Award is presented. We got the Terps.
Baby, Gary Williams is jumping right now. He's so excited. He wants to get the team in a room right now. He wants to get them working.
Don't forget, start things off with a Heisman Trophy presentation presented by Wendy's from the Downtown Athletic Club in New York, 7:30. Right out of it's Ricky Williams and Tim Couch and Cade McNown and Michael Bishop, whoever it might be. And then stick around. Dick and I will bring you all the action of Maryland and Kentucky from Rupp Arena. And there's almost no better place in the world to watch a basketball game than Rupp.
Oh, it's beautiful. I'll tell you one thing, tomorrow night, Jesus Mullins Center is going to really rock. Talking to Bruce Flint today, his kids have struggled. They've lost 3 in a row, but the bottom line is they're coming home for the first time, and Connecticut is going to be in for a real battle there. If Larry Kettner plays like an All-American and doesn't give them subpar performance, they're going to need a big-time performance because Jimmy Calhoun's 12. I love Elamine. You got to love Hamilton, Elamine, Freeman, Bosco. They got great balance, and they had that against Michigan State. Tremendous balance.
Here's the guy that's really the story of the night again, I think. 21 points now for Evans.
Yeah, you've always liked him. Started last year.
He's something.
He really picked it up last year, late in the season. Played so well in the comeback over Duke. That was one of the most amazing comebacks. Down 17, 9 minutes on the clock.
Timu just tied his career high, 22 points. And Kentucky, when they needed free throws, 12 out of 14 in this overtime. Shot up and in by Price, the guy that sent the game to overtime, but it's way too little and way too late. Evans, the dish to Bradley.
Hello, Flush City, Jam City. They're going to be celebrating. What a nice bus trip now. They get on a bus, and they head for beautiful Lexington. Bluegrass country, baby. I love the horse farms down here.
Fife for another 3, and he got another one.
He's going to be a good player in Indiana.
Yes,
Fife is going to be a very solid player in Indiana.
Dave's got 10. The lead is 9. We're down to 13 seconds. Bob Knight's 1,000th game is not going to go in the win column. He's going to be stuck on 728 because this one will go to Tubby Smith and the Kentucky Wildcats, who go to 8-1 on the season. And the blue beats the red here in Freedom Hall. That's going to do it. Final in overtime, 70-61. The Wildcats over the Hoosiers of Indiana. For Dick Vitale and our ESPN crew, Brad Nessler saying so long from Freedom Hall. Let's send it to Bill Pito. Well,